Can you kindly answer, oh, this is a very difficult question, I remember. Okay, got to put my thinking cap on here. Can you kindly answer a question about non-specific psychoses and ASD-SP? Okay, so what they're asking in this very long question sounds a lot like you've got autism spectrum disorder with the normative psychosis diagnosis, which is strangely enough an atypical psychosis. So here's this group of people that have atypical psychosis with their autism spectrum, primary diagnosis. And then over here you've got another group of people that have a schizophrenic diagnosis and they still have autism, which is more of a normal psychosis. And then you have autism that has that does not demonstrate psychosis. Okay, so their question is, in these groups, what are the success rates of coming off of antipsychotics for these particular patients? Yeah, so there's a general rule about this. As I like when I'm evaluating someone, one of the entry differentials is, does it happen all the time or does it happen some of the time? Whatever the thing is, right? In the realm of psychosis, if it happens all the time versus coming and going, the all the time psychosis is much different than something that comes and goes. If it works some of the time, it ain't broken. You know what I mean? If it's working some of the times, there's something that's not broken. And when you can identify what that thing is that's throwing it out of gear and causing it to be symptomatic, then usually the thing just sort of augments into them being the kind of actually high-functioning persona that they could be in the world rather than a train wreck. So now applying this to the diagnosis, the success rate of people having atypical psychosis, if that psychosis is presenting as like it's here and they're hallucinating and they're not able to actually be very well oriented in the reality, and then at other times they are, that is going to do, and I don't work with autism patients that much. I haven't worked with true autism patients. I've worked with the Asperger's and the other patients, but so this is more just based on an understanding of how the nervous system and the certain things work. So I'm giving you a non-actual witness impression of what I might think might happen here. And if you're, in my experience, in direct experience, if you've been seeing people who are psychotic sometimes and there's not psychotic sometimes, their ability to get off of the antipsychotic and have a degree of permanence around that and be okay off the antipsychotic is far better than people who have an all-the-time type of psychosis. And honestly, I see a lot of people diagnosed as schizophrenic. My definition is very, very cut and dry. If they're schizophrenic, in my definition, it's not the DSM-5 definition, but if they're schizophrenic, it means they're having psychosis all the time. If they're having psychosis some of the times, then they're schizoaffective. This population, I can do miracles with, or the innate can do miracles with, and I can help notice the miracles. And this population is very stubborn as far as like they come off the medication and immediately go into their college track and get a bachelor's or master's degree in something. Not often. If a person's hearing voices and it's constant, and they've been living on the couch in the basement of their parents' house and have not, they don't have any foibles like smoking pot all the time or the things that usually lead to psychosis, and we're talking organic brain something or other, then generally the goal is what is their highest quality of life, and to aim for that and maybe let go of the stigma of like how many meds are there and how many meds are there not, and what produces the highest quality of life for this individual. And the people that have not experienced psychosis that were on the spectrum, how well did they do coming off of antipsychotics? I would say, it really depends on the person. I would say that there's probably more of a variation in this population than there would be in whatever we're calling normal, but have they had normal sexual interactions? Are they overly attached to some religious construct? Some of these things that are beautiful in the world can actually be very difficult for us when we're coming off of an antipsychotic. So it just depends on how they're relating to the world, really. But I would see hope for that population for sure. If they weren't psychotic and then they're on an antipsychotic because it was meant to help them with certain symptoms they were experiencing on the spectrum, then I would think coming off of that, if they do it in the right way, could be highly successful. I do want to remind people that don't take medical advice from people you're talking to or think you're talking to on YouTube. This is information. The information that I have for you is based upon seeing a residential population for, at this juncture, 18 years, and making some determinations that most outpatient doctors don't get to see, right? Somebody prescribing, come back in 2 weeks. They don't know what water you've been drinking, what person you had an argument with or whatever. And by and large, we've controlled a lot of variables around that to focus in some really good information, but still, we don't know who you are as where your life has been and what is really real or true for you. Only you knew that. And again, don't change any medications based upon what you've heard from us, or even supplements. You might want to get a practitioner even on those supplements before you start taking something that you have not been prescribed by someone. I do understand that there's not a lot of doctors that can guide you through this, and there's not even a lot of natural type-minded people that can guide you through this, and so you might have to experiment. I get that, but just know that we're not allowed to prescribe. We're not allowed to give medical advice through YouTube. All right, thank you. Have a very nice day or evening, and hope to see you on the next video.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. For information about Alternative to Med Center, give us a call at 888-984-9667.